Adaptability is a cornerstone of successful artists in today's ever-evolving creative landscape. It is the capacity to pivot, to innovate, and thrive amid ever-changing trends, technologies, and artistic challenges. In short, adaptability is the bridge between artistic aspiration and achievement. It facilitates a continuous journey, keeping us aloft in the dynamic world of creativity. Greetings, my name is Zach, and if you are enjoying these videos or would like to see more of this kind of content, please subscribe. Let's start with the benefits of adaptability for creatives, and then of course we will move into some strategies to help you be more adaptable. Let's dive in. Alright, as we have been doing, let's start with some of the benefits of adaptability. Being malleable allows you to avoid getting stuck in ruts, and it helps you increase your ability to problem solve. It is easy for us artists to find a way to make our art that simply works on an ongoing basis. It is also just as easy to then stick to that idea and refuse to change anything unless absolutely forced. I know this might sound crazy, but I could not begin to list the amount of students I had to convince to use reference, to try painting their background first, or to sketch before they began their projects. We are often just as stubborn as we are dedicated to our craft. Being adaptable can help you avoid getting stuck in a rut, and it can help you find new ways to get around things and to think outside the box. For a group of people that often sought out art as a medium to discover, depict stuff that people have never seen before, or depart the real world, it seems odd that we might get to the point where we stop exploring. It is simply a human trait to do what you have always done, but it is divergent from what brought us into this thing in the first place, what created that initial joy. Being adaptable means you will have a higher likelihood to try new things, new methods of painting or drawing, or even new media. So many people, young and old alike, are searching for their artistic voice and style. These two things are quite important, although they likely get more credit than they deserve. If you continue to do the same thing you have always done, you may be hamstringing yourself from finding this voice, from finding your style. Copying other artists' work, trying out new media, exploring new ideas, this is how you are truly going to uncover the work that you want to do. Your style will likely be a merger of many different things, and you may find it faster if you are more willing to adapt, instead of staying married to the thoughts and concepts that you have always held about your art. In the past decade alone, the tools and technology available for artists have expanded tremendously. It is not imperative that artists embrace the new, but throughout history, artists have often been the first to do so. Leonardo da Vinci famously utilized new kinds of paint and pigment as they hit the market, even to the detriment of his pieces sometimes. But he and many of the great artists of history were always excited to try out new technologies. Photography changed many things when it arrived on the scene, and I'm not sure we are over the changes of digital photography yet. When digital art hit the scene, when one could draw on a computer, it sent ripples and waves through the art community that have largely subsided in all but the academic institutions. And now, AI art is sending its own ripples through the world, while philosophers, artists, and lawyers decide how the behemoth will come to exist. If you want my thoughts on the AI situation, I have 2 videos I released a while back on the topic. I'll include links to them in the description below. Although this might not be pertinent to everyone, I think it might be beneficial to spend a few moments talking about career flexibility as well. Being adaptable is going to lead you to develop new and more varied skills. If you start a YouTube channel, for example, you are going to learn some basic sound recording techniques, basic video recording and editing skills, and if you haven't already, you'll end up learning a bit about social media. In this example, each skill can be developed to be a career in and of itself. Even if this is not your goal, long or short term, putting time into things adjacent to your artwork sets you up with additional skills, making you a more formidable candidate when applying to jobs. On the other side, it makes you able to fend for yourself better if you do intend to work in the freelance world, or simply develop your own works. Piggybacking off of the skills, your portfolio will obviously benefit from your explorations in adaptability, as you adventure into areas outside of your comfort zone. This may take the form of your portfolio increasing in diversity, or perhaps just a more refined set of ancillary components. We as artists almost always benefit from exploring other art media and other ideas. And you never know when you will uncover something you fall in love with. We often form preconceived notions about particular media or styles, but just like food, you really won't know if you like it, if it's for you, until you give it a try. Maybe that's watercolor, maybe that's oil, Or maybe you need to give digital a try instead of making fun of it. Try new things. You never know when you will discover a new love. Please share in the comments anything you have discovered this way, any new loves in your art. Alright, wonderful. Adaptability is obviously a good thing, but how do I actually become more adaptable? Indeed, in thinking about this topic, I had the same question, and the answer I have best arrived at currently is to put yourself in situations where you have the opportunity to adapt to new things, and then actually take the opportunity. So I am going to go through a few different specific strategies to put yourself in these situations, or exploit them when they present themselves. Go with the unexpected. Perhaps the easiest way to be adaptable with your artwork is to embrace something that you did not expect. If the painting starts to go in a direction you did not anticipate, perhaps instead of fighting it, try going with it and see what happens. Tangible, traditional media are perhaps the best at this, as they often are more prone to random occurrences. I have had a lot of fun doing this with ink in the past, letting it hit the paper and then allowing nature to take its course. Some people do this with ink by blowing on it, but I used to splatter it on the paper and then sculpt the remaining ink into interesting forms. We don't always have to have control over everything that happens in a piece. Sometimes we can adapt to what the medium wants to do. In digital work, I will often do this by laying down a preliminary coat of paint in the background. And I don't erase it, I leave it there and it adds some visual texture as I progress through the piece. Seek new methods. I have my set way of drawing things I have drawn time and time again, and I am sure you do as well. I know how I draw eyes, I know how I construct mountains, etc. But we have to be careful not to marry ourselves to the way we have always done a thing. Consider whatever it is that you make most often, be it people, landscapes, little critters, or whatever. Try looking up how other people make theirs. Try looking up some new strategies for drawing faces. Each human, unique and interesting in their own right, interprets the world in different ways. Don't be so quick to cling to a particular strategy. Try adapting your methodology to that of someone else's and see what you can glean. We have to fight that part of ourselves that says this is a sin. There is nothing wrong with seeking new ways to see the world. In fact, what could be more fundamentally artistic? Seek new media. This one might have been obvious throughout the video. Trying new things in general is good for the artist. Whatever your normal is, I cannot recommend enough getting out of it from time to time and trying something new. I taught drawing and painting for over 10 years, after finishing 5 years of art school before I was ever introduced to gouache. Now I love it. To me, it is everything I love about watercolor, but better. Even in art circles, we miss things. This is doubly important if you work exclusively in digital or traditional media. If this is the case, I would heartily recommend you try the other sometime. It could be that it isn't for you, but you might find some really lovely new things in tradition or innovation. Seek new inspiration. We all have the normal places we go to seek inspiration, so what I want to encourage you to do is look in different places. If you have never given anime or Japanese media a chance, try it out and see what you find. You will find that humans since time immemorial have created interesting things, and all of it can coalesce into your style and ideas. The reason this is important enough to talk about here is that most of us are unaware of our inspiration and influences until we sit down and think about it. So take some time, think about what influences you, and try to take in something a little different. You might just find something new that becomes a mainstay. Reflect constantly. This is the last thing I want to hit on because it is absolutely crucial to growing as an artist. And I mean growing in skill or increasing your joy. Reflecting on your pieces, on your sessions, on what you have been doing lately will tell you whether you are going in the right direction or not. If the last few pieces have been frustrating, take a minute and figure out why. Is the subject wrong? Are you working during the wrong time of day? Have you been trying to avoid using references? Introspection is a massive tool for the artist, and if you need the reminder to do it, here's the reminder. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. I hope this was helpful for you in some way. Have a good one, y'all. See you soon.